proposal, at least as far as our policy criteria is together, falls necessarily at the end of any priority or big project.
Yeah, this one, Pete, I appreciate that question, and I'm very appreciative of that question. I don't think having the Berkeley pit and not being able to use our groundwater is a normal government function. I would love to be like Missoula, where I can pump groundwater right out of the ground, right into the pipe, and use it. Beautiful. Normal governmental function. Great, I'd love it. Can't do it because mine will ruin our groundwater. I would love to be like Helena, or Great Falls, or Billings, and take water. For example, Billings takes water out of the Yellowstone River. They don't have to pump it 26 miles. Pumping water 26 miles is not a normal governmental function in any way, shape, or form. I don't know of a community that has the Berkeley pit and has its groundwater completely and totally ruined like Pete does. So normal governmental function, I don't think it applies to you. I do not think it applies to you at all.
When did the Minnesota water system first start getting grants from bnrc? What was the first year?
I believe it was approximately 10 years ago.
2003. Yeah. I didn't notice in here. I think it was in 2003. They said out of council, we funded a $500,000 improvement. Basically, I didn't notice. This application right here indicates the silent on that. It indicates that the basic dam needs complete restoration. What happened to that 500,000? Why isn't that waited that for a long way towards making the necessary improvements?
The Basin Creek Dam was rehabilitated in 2006 partially. What was done is on one side of the dam there is an Obermeyer dam put in to control the flow in and out of the thing. We drained the system and put some material on the bottom of the lake. But we didn't fix the top 12 feet of the dam. There wasn't enough money in that grant. And we also didn't fix the other side of the dam that has, it's the original 1893 structure. We had problems with it the year before last, where the thing clogged and we almost washed part of the dam away. We didn't rebuild it, we rebuilt the whole dam. We did not fulfill or completely rehabilitate that dam. That's the lower dam. The upper dam we didn't do anything with. And the upper dam is an 1896 structure, timber frame structure. The timbers inside of it are rotted away. Over the course of the years, for example, the way that they used to let water out of that dam is there's a valve in the bottom of it. The treatment operators used to have to go and crawl through a tunnel to open up the valve and come out. That structure collapsed in 1968, and we haven't been able to use it since. I believe it was in the 80s we had to take part of the dam down, to breach part of the dam to make it safer. But it's still a high hazard dam that hasn't had any major work done to it since 1896. It's in bad shape. So that's why we have put some money into these grants. But if you'll notice, the request to fix up Basin Creek Dams 1 and 2 is in Grant 3, which is the Silverbow Creek remainders, and we have not submitted that grant. We've been told by the public that there may be other uses for that money, so we've stepped away from that grant, and we haven't submitted it. And that was the part where the Basin Creek dams were being fixed.
I have a follow-up question. I remember a presentation in 2007. Mr. Cecil did have this thing there. And there were some questions that were raised as about don't you use the Silver Lake system, which we were continuing for a lot of money. But at that time, the presentation from G. Solar Paul said that the Silver Lake system was not operated. It was built in the 1880s and it required very little infrastructure and very little improvements. And it wasn't worth the money because it was such a long production. What's changed? That was that particular discussions were found that the master plan was completed in 2008, which doesn't seem to be planning to using right here, when it's time to make the decisions, there's a 2012 update. We walk you through the technology, when it's happened, it's changing. We didn't want Silver Lake, we did want Silver Lake.
Mr. Kern, I have no idea what occurred in 2007. I don't know why that was said. I do have information for you on Silver Lake that in one of the subsequent questions that I'll talk about that. But let me talk just a little bit about the Silver Lake system. And again, you have access to the master plan and all the documentation for Silver Lake with that. But
Built in the 1880s, has it had substantial improvements to it?
yes. There were substantial improvements done in the Silver Lake system in the 90s. In the 1990s, major portions of the Storm Lake Dam were improved. There was quite a bit of improvement there. There was quite a bit of improvement to the Silver Lake dam structures, both east and west, in the 90s. There was also a pipeline built from just east of Myers Dam to the top of the hill in the Anacon smelter, brand new pipeline. That was all upgraded. And then there are some other upgrades to the system at that time. So there was considerable amount of work done in 2012. Now, what we're also doing is we are applying to the Aquatic Fund to do some more work on the Silver Lake system, and it includes Myers Dam and upstream. We think that's the next section that needs to be replaced. There are some critical infrastructure needs in that section. One of the reasons, and I can share this with all of you, one of the reasons that we applied for the aquatic grant through the NRD is because we were asked to do so. Fish, Wildlife, and Parks asked us to do so. Silver Lake is a very important bull trout system. Storm Lake Creek, Twin Lakes Creek, and Silver Lake in itself is a very important bull trout system. Fish, Wildlife, and Parks came to us, both federal and state, over 2 years ago and met with us and said, we'd like to see you do some critical improvements here to improve bull trout fishery. The other part of it is in the December 2010 trustee council meeting, I believe all of the trustees says that the very best thing that that NRD can spend money on is in-stream flow. The Silver Lake system can supply lots of in-stream flow, not only the Warm Springs Creek, but the Parkfoot River. So this was an ask. Also listening to the people on this committee, what I heard was that you would like us to use Silver Lake for drinking water. And that's why, one of the reasons that we put this grant together. So that's what we did. I hope I answered your question.
My concern is, let's say I'm for 10 years, and I'm voted to look these over vote every time. There were particular plans and representations made to these funding process that are different than what we're discussing. And I just want some assurances that if we do move forward with this type of a recommendation, what assurances that we have that the next guy that comes this chair will sit down and say, gee, we need to go with that case.
Well, I guess the way I would answer that is if you are kind enough to grant us the money, the system will be fixed. And you won't see anybody from Good Silver Glass for more money.
Can I ask you a question? Is there any money in the system as a public bond?
Good question. We do have bonds out that mature in 2014. The original bonds that we took out 20 years ago were used to build the Colorado Hill tank, the Big Hole water treatment plant, the Molten water treatment plant, and then some other pump stations and things.